party people, and welcome to the most frightfully festive moment of the year, the Party of One Halloween Spectacular. I am your ghost host with the most, as always, Jeff Stormer. And this week on the show, in honor of Halloween, we are sitting down for a delightfully demonic game of Scorelock with Wheels Wheeler. Wheels is a GM and cast member on Very Random Encounters, an actual play podcast where they play role-playing games where they've randomly determined as many things as possible from characters, villains, names, places, and everything that they can think of that has been randomly generated is randomly generated to create as much chaos and joy for the listener as possible. You can find more about Very Random Encounters at vre.show. They are also one of the hosts of Got It Memorized, a video game lore recap podcast that originally started breaking down the plot of Kingdom Hearts and now is covering Final Fantasy X because I guess they enjoy suffering, is really the only way that I can describe it. They're both extremely good podcasts. I really can't recommend them both enough. You should check them out. You can also follow Wheels on Twitter at @SingularWheels. Scorelock, as I mentioned, is a game about deals with the devil. It is a game about a warlock trying to bargain for more power with their patron, and it is cool because it is played with literally any other game you can imagine. Wheels and I used Liar's Dice to play the game, but you can play it with literally any game. It is designed to be played with your favorite bartering game, and it's cool. It's really neat. I really can't recommend it enough. I think it's really totally fun. I think you're really going to dig it. You can find more information on Scorelock in the show notes. Two quick technical notes before we dive in. One, thank you to Jesse Edmond for your support on Patreon. Patreon backers get access to early releases of episodes, to unedited audio, games that I'm working on, podcasts that we're producing, stuff that I've got in the works. You get the whole 9 yards. And money for that helps pay for this podcast. It helps pay for the other games that I produce, layout, all that kind of cool stuff. You can find more information about that at patreon.com/JeffStormer. The other technical note is we are releasing this episode a few days early. We usually release on Tuesdays. We're releasing this on Saturday. One, because it's Halloween and this is a spooky game and that felt right. And two, because we're taking some time off after this. We're not going to be back until, I want to say the 10th. Yes, our next episode is going to drop November 10th. We are disappearing as much as we can from the internet for that week because, well, for mental health reasons, to put it bluntly. But as we are gone, I do want to briefly remind you to go out and vote on Tuesday. Take care of yourselves and each other. Remember, like I say at the end of every episode, fight the forces of fascism every day. Remember that self-love and self-care are radical and defiant acts of resistance, and normally I say party on, but here I'm going to say take care of yourselves and each other, support your local mutual aid organizations, bail funds, and similar groups out there fighting the good fight, and prioritize your mental health and the mental health of those around you as much as you can, because it's going to be a rough couple weeks. Whew. And with that, let's throw it over to me in the past so that he can get started with the show. Take it past me.
Thanks, future me. This week, I am so excited to be sitting down with Wheels Wheeler. Wheels, thank you so much for coming on Party of One.
Thanks for having me. This is exciting.
I'm very excited to have you. This is going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah, I think so too.
So real quick, at the top of the show, before we dive in, why don't you take a moment and let the lovely listeners at home know about anything you've got going on that you might want them to know about?
Yeah, I'm Wheels. I'm a podcaster. My two shows that are running right now are Got It Memorized and Very Random Encounters. Got It Memorized is a comedic recap podcast of famously convoluted video games. We started with Kingdom Hearts, and then we finished all of that entire franchise. So now we're just a comedic recap of confusing games generally. We're doing Final Fantasy X right now. That's called Got It Memorized. My second show is Very Random Encounters, where some friends and I play TTRPGs and use random generation for as many of the starting details as we can. And then we improvise fun and funny stories from that. That's Very Random Encounters.
Excellent, excellent, excellent. Good stuff all around. So, do you want to play a game? Just play a game. We should play a game, right?
We're going to play, it's like, we're playing two games today, in a way.
That's right. Here's the thing. The secret is that this is really this is all about economy, is we're delivering the most actual play content possible in that we're playing two games at once.
This podcast is buy one, get one free.
That's right. This is discount days at Party of One. So we are playing Scorelock, which is a game about warlocks playing games together. So we are going to tell the story of a warlock summoning a series of demons, and as we discussed beforehand, we are going to be hashing out those demon deals over games of Liar's Dice.
I love Liar's Dice. It sounded like you hadn't played it before.
I have never played it before. I've watched Pirates of the Caribbean. That was one of those things where I realized after you had said it, I was like, why does that name sound familiar? Why does that game sound so familiar?
Yeah, that's where I learned it originally as well. But apparently in the original, it's, I think, originally from Peru. So it's called Dudo in Spanish, as in like I doubt, or Perudo, because it's from Peru, which I thought was a funny pun. But yeah,
that is a funny pun.
Or Liar's Dice. Should I explain it for the listener?
Yeah. Give us a little explainer, and then I will explain the game, and then I will introduce my warlock, and then we'll get into the game.
So, so Liar's Dice. If you haven't played it before, don't worry, because it's pretty simple. Each of us has dice. I actually don't. I'm just going to be using a dice bot because I don't have my dice near me.
Shameful.
But each of us have dice. And if we were playing this in person, each of us would have our dice in like a Yahtzee cup and a mug or whatever. We shake up the dice. We each flop the cup down on the table so that the dice are face down in a pile, just like you would in like a Yahtzee or something. I can look at my dice. I can't look at Jeff's dice. It's a bidding game, so we go back and forth, and a player starts with an opening bid, and their bid is how many dice of a certain number that player thinks are on the table. If there were 3 people here, there would be 3 dice pools, but in our case, there are obviously going to be 2. So if I roll my dice and I see that I have like 2 3s and a bunch of other things, I say, oh, I know that there's a higher than average amount of 3s probably, because I've already got 2 of them. Jeff probably has some as well. So I'm going to have my opening bid be that I think there are 3 3s on the table. Then Jeff is given the opportunity to raise either one of those numbers. He could raise the first one by 1 so that it's 4 3s, or he could raise the category, so he could say 3 4s. Then at any point, if one player thinks that the other player's last bid was too outrageous, that it's not likely, that player calls the other a liar, at which point we reveal our dice and we see how many there are in the pool, and you win the bid if your bid matches the pool, and you lose if it doesn't. If you lose, the losing player has to get rid of one of their dice, and then if you run out of dice, you're out of the game.
Excellent. So I'm thinking, just from a structure stand, we'll go over an hour and see how many games we fit in and how many demons we get to summon. But know that I do have a lengthy list of good demon names
that
I'm excited to break out.
So we might be able to run through a lot of character voices here.
I'm very excited. So I am playing. So in Scorelock, I am a warlock. I am playing someone who is summoning a demon. That I am looking for things. I'm going to summon a demon, ask them to give me something that I want. The demon will ask me to essentially bid something, like what am I willing to put on the line to get this thing, and then we will play out a game of Liar's Dice to see who is on the winning side. If I win and win my deal with the devil, I get something, and if not, I have something horrible taken away from me. And we will continue this game in this rhythm until either we feel like my character has found a good, solid, happy ending, or until I am left in ruin. So 2 good options. We've got 2 good options in front of us.
The 2 kinds of endings that there are.
Yeah, that's it. Those are the ones. Okay, so my character, I've been thinking about this. I am playing straight-laced Dougie Slickback. Straight-laced Dougie is a gentleman bank robber and a gentleman con artist, and I'm pulling off scores. Like I'm making Scorelock as many meanings of that word as possible.
So is it known by anyone else that you have dealings with demons? Because a straight-laced person dealing with demons. That seems scandalous to me.
You know what? I actually think I like that question, and I think it is not. I think the visual that I get is very much kind of a first act of an episode of Twilight Zone, like right when the supernatural thing happens. Like, I found a book with a list of names on it and a list of, like, vague demon descriptions, and I'm like, yeah, I could use this, yeah! That's where I picture Dougie is at. Like, I have found a Death Note book, and I have started to use it, and in my mind, everything is going to go great forever. There's no drawback to this. Maybe. Honestly, I can't say for certain that it won't. So, so I think Dougie, we open, it is, the visual that I'm getting for a location is, I think just because thinking about, like, bank robber, like, on the run stories is, like, a dusty field. Maybe it's like I feel like it's got to be a roadside motel, right? Or like a roadside diner.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. I'm sure there are a lot of it's one of those where the vacancies, you can't tell if the vacancy sign is off or on because the no is like flickering.
Oh yeah, and I think I am in in my room in this low rent motel on a long dusty road. I am the only car in the parking lot. I am sitting in my pajamas, like my suit and tie are like hanging on a hook. I am in my two-piece matching pajamas. I am picturing, the only way I can describe my hair is I'm picturing that sort of Dale Cooper cowlick hair where like one part of it is just way up. Yeah. And I am like flipping through this book and I close my eyes and I hold it up and I say, I am looking to speak to summer rain on a solstice night. And I think I say that, and like we pan out and we see that I am that I have like made a little salt circle in front, like right in front of me, between me and the crappy motel TV. And I'm
the TV on?
It's got to be on, and it's got to be showing.
Can I suggest that it's just like whatever, like the TV just turned on, like you didn't even turn it on, but it gets turned on and it's on whatever, like the default channel that it gets reset to. I guess it's probably not a nice enough hotel to have that, but it's like maybe the cleaning staff always puts it back on the weather channel when someone checks out.
Local on the 8s is rocking. And so I am summoning. I have drawn my circle, and I am summoning the demon Summer Rain on a solstice night.
Oh wow, that's my name. Okay,
that's your demon name. Yeah,
great that we went with the Weather Channel because there is a chance of rain.
So what does it look like when Summer Rain gets summoned?
You actually smell it first. It's not that ozone smell of before a storm, but I guess they call it petrichor, the like dusty smell after a rain. Yep. You smell that, and you hear kind of a pitter-patter, like there's rain outside, but the sun is still shining through, and a hand of mist reaches out from the television, and she crawls towards you. She kind of like crawls ring lady style out of the television. And she says, what does she sound like? She sounds like this. Greetings. What day is it?
It's Tuesday? I don't know. I've been on the road a while.
Sorry, what month?
What month? June.
All right, I have time. And she pulls herself fully out of the television and sits down in the chair in the motel room. And she just folds her legs, folds her hands as well, and just waits for you to start whatever you're asking me for.
And I think I get up and I like offer you one of those like plastic motel cups of water, and I'm like, do you want a drink? Or I'm not 100% clear
shakes
on
her
how.
head and does that hand like the stop hand. Like, no, just speak.
Oh, okay. Yeah, sorry. I'm not super familiar with how this process is supposed to go. So, okay. So here's the deal. I need you to help me with a job. So there's a bankers convention, right? Like all the big wigs from this big chain bank are going to be in one place, which means that there's a lot of stockholders there. Like a lot of the company's assets are there, which means that like if somebody came in and happened to just abscond with a briefcase of like printed out stock sheets, stock certificates, that person
I don't know
would
what
be,
that is. Just what do you need, friend?
I need to seem like I fit in. I need anybody that looks at me in this place to think that I belong there. And to know me from somewhere long ago, far away. To know me as, oh, we worked together one time.
Fitting in. Now, sir, I don't know you, but I would guess that you have had some trouble doing that in the past. Am I correct?
Well, I stand out in a crowd on account of the bank robberies.
I always know.
You do? You are very astute, and I assume that is some sort of demon power, but still very impressive.
That just comes with wisdom.
Oh, okay. I didn't know if that was a magical thing.
You need to look like someone else. Or rather, I correct myself. You need to look like someone else. No, that's actually not what you were asking, was it? It was more like you want someone to know you already when you come into the room. Like,
yeah.
You want to be a familiar face.
Exactly that. I want everybody to know me, but not know me well.
The mutual acquaintance.
Exactly. I feel like now we're speaking the same language.
I might be able to assist.
All right, so that's it then? You're going to make the magic and I'm going to... the thing, right?
Remind me, what was my character's name again?
Summer rain on a solstice night.
She laughs. And, I am solstice. I am summer rain on a solstice night, lord of the mist and the burning. I do not merely assist. I need a sacrifice. Or a wager, if you're willing to do those as well. I like games, as we all do. It's in our blood.
I love games. Games are how I got started in this. Do you do 3-card Monty?
Do you have anything that uses dice? That's all we have. That's all we have back there.
Oh,
she gestures towards the television.
I mean, I got Yahtzee. Do you want to play Yahtzee?
She takes the box out of your hands and like looks at the back and like scans the rules pamphlet and says, "No, but we can make this work. Sit down."
The weirdly detailed chart of
cups.
Yahtzee. The weirdly detailed Yahtzee results chart.
And actually, she's completely missed. So when she picks it up, you're like, "Is she gonna ruin my copy of Yahtzee?" But it doesn't. When she sets it down, the paper is wet, but then it immediately, impossibly, a ray of light shines from the window at an angle that it shouldn't, and just immediately dries the paper as if the water had never been there.
Oh, that's a relief.
And that's basically what happens when she gets up from anything or sets anything down. It's just constantly happening.
I love that. I love that a lot.
Yeah, she explains the rules of Liar's Dice.
Excellent. And so I listen to the rules and I'm like, oh yeah, I can do that. I'm pretty decent at bluffing. I mean, on account of all the crimes.
I would hope so.
I mean, I'm going to be better when everybody thinks they know me, but you know, I'm all right now.
I changed my mind a little bit. She's not completely missed. At where her heart would be is a flame, and then the rest of her is mist.
Dope. Extremely
that's
dope.
What she is. Yeah. So we start the game, right? We start
Yes.
Liar's Dice.
I guess the one thing I need to know is what am I putting on the line here? What am I playing for?
Oh, right. We didn't say that. What would is that something that I choose according to the rules? I guess it doesn't matter. But yeah, what would she want from a bank robber? And it's not even like what she wants, is more as like what she wants the giving up to make you.
I have a suggestion.
I have an idea, but what's your suggestion?
My suggestion was going to be that if I fail this, I never blend in, or the fact that I stand out, like I never blend in again.
Oh, interesting.
What was your suggestion?
My idea was you don't get to call yourself. You lose the ability to call yourself straight-laced anymore.
That's real good.
That bit of your name is just erased.
That's good. I like that a lot.
She'll feed on that memory erasing out of everyone's mind that you were ever called straight-laced.
I love that. I love that a ton. And with that, I think it's time we play some liar's dice.
Let's hope my dice bot works, because sometimes it takes like a minute and a half. Fucking DM me back. Left on red by the fucking dice bot. So let's see. I think we can choose how many dice we want to do with two of us. Let's do 5d6.
Sounds good.
Okay, my dice bot is working. All right, I have my pool of dice.
I have mine as well.
I'll begin for this. And so she looks at, she peers under her dice cup, and she says, "You know, I'm a bit of an exaggeration," and she gestures to herself. The whole mist and fire opposites thing, it's funny. I didn't choose it myself. I'm really more about unity and bringing things together, but you wouldn't know that if you asked anyone. But anyway, unity. That reminds me of the one rule I didn't explain before. And I think she is saying this in the same way that I am saying this, that I didn't remember the rule. And that is that ones are wild. Unity. The one brings us all together. It brings all the other numbers back together. If you have any ones, they can count as any number.
Gotcha. One's wild.
And she was sort of gesturing like a circle with her finger when she was saying unity, and she still has her finger up, and she lifts the other two fingers in her hand, and she says, 3 threes. And now you have the option to either, if you think that there are likely not 3 threes in the game right now, you could call me a liar. You could either, if you think there are more than 3 threes, you can kick it up to 4 threes. Or if you think if you're not sure about 3s, but you are confident about 4s, 5s, or 6s, you can bump the second number up to any of those.
I'm going to say 4 threes. I'm feeling good. I feel like I like to take people at their word. If you say that there are 3 threes, I like to think that there's reason for you to think there's at least 3 threes.
Sorry, I wasn't paying attention. 4 threes.
4 threes.
No, that's what you said. 5 threes.
I'm going to call you a liar. I know I said I take people at their word, but sometimes taking somebody at their word is taking them and knowing when those words are fake.
It's part of the game, honey. I will just paste you in the DMs what my dice pool was. So I had, if you count my 1, I had 4 threes. So you had 1 3.
I have 3 threes.
Okay, so I win. So because you called me a liar and there are more 3s than that, so you lose a die. I should have mentioned as well before that if you had wanted to, you could have bumped it up to from 3 to 5 threes or something. I should have explained it doesn't have to be incremented by 1.
Gotcha.
But yeah,
I probably would have still pushed it up to 4 threes because I was rocking 3 threes myself, and I wasn't going to be like 7 threes.
Right? Yeah. All right. So now you actually I should do this in character. And now it is your turn to open up the bid.
Okay. Do I re-roll?
Oh, yes, sorry.
Of course, no worries. I think as this is happening, that like matching striped PJs are now like a little more like worn, and there's a patch on the elbow. It's like gotten a little bit scragglier.
Oh, that's cool.
3 6s.
5 6s.
I think you're a liar.
That's an unfortunate thought. I'll copy and paste this over. I only had 6s or 1s, so I had 5 6s.
What? That's. I'm.
If you want to see the chat logs, you can.
No, I'm looking, and I am upset at that turn of events. I think Dougie now with now some rings resting on the nightstand and a gun there that wasn't there before is looking out like, I'm not one to accuse foul play. I'm not saying it's not expected from a demon, but that felt like a very opportunistic move. That said, I recognize random chance, and you know what? Truth be told, one way or another, I do have to give you some good respect.
Could you even do anything if I were cheating?
Of course not. Absolutely not. You have really all the cards here.
I'm glad you've already learned the first rule of dealing with demons.
Fair enough. My turn or yours?
I think it's...
All right.
Now you're beginning to see the truly dastardly element of this game as you continue to lose dice. Oh, it's wonderful. That unity we were talking about before, it's starting to come into fruition. Because
Yes,
it's
indeed.
starting to be that I'm the only one with knowledge of the pool.
Yes, indeed.
2 3s.
3 3s.
3 4s.
3 6s.
You've put me in a pickle!
That's what I do.
This is fun. I like this. You are a liar, sir.
Okay. Let me show you. I have a 6, a 1, and a 2, so if you've got 1 6.
Ooh. Bada bing, there's a 6 there.
All right.
So as she looks, and if you can't really, like, she doesn't really have facial features that you can really see, but sometimes it's like the mist gathers in a way that she is like adopting human facial language. And so she kind of like forms eyebrows out of mist and then raises them at seeing your pool. And the mist flips to the bottom of her face and flips upside down so that the raised eyebrows become a smile, like a smirk. She's proud of your move, and then one of her dice simply disappear.
See, the first rule of any good con is you establish confidence. That's where the term comes from. That's when you start playing tricky.
Remind me your character's name?
Dougie Slickback.
Well, Mr. Slickback, are you feeling confident?
Not particularly, but when has that ever stopped me before?
I'll roll again here. And I'm rolling 4d6 now because I lost a die. How many do you have? 3?
I have 3.
And I opened the bid last time, so it's you.
4 2s.
You certainly are confident. That is a strong opening bid for a man with 3 dice.
Well, confidence comes when it comes. You find your true strength in the heart.
How many did you say?
In times of
2s?
great stress.
You speak too much. How many 2s?
4 2s.
I don't think you're a liar, but I think that's what I have to call you in this position.
Okay. I've got a 2 and 2 1s. I've got 3 2s.
I've got the 4th. That was such a tricky position because I should also do that in character. Ooh, this game is getting so interesting. The unity has come back, but now it's duality. Ah! And the flame in her chest gets a little stronger. Don't you love this game? It's very old, you know.
I do love this game, honestly. This is, thank you for introducing this to me.
Oh, it's so fun.
Dougie and Jeff are loving it.
All right, so we're both down to 3. All right. And I open the bid. And just a single 4.
Just a single 5.
2 5s.
2 6s.
I'll make that 3. 3 6s.
I think I'm going to call you a liar.
Do you have one?
I have 1.
Ooh. And I got the other 2. One's a 1.
Yes.
So, no, I said 3, didn't I?
You said 3. Oh, you've only got 2.
But didn't you say you had one?
I have 1 6, and you've got a 6 and a 1, so that 1 turns into the 6?
Right, because the 1 is a wild.
Got it.
So,
Okay, then
that is 3 6s. Yeah.
That's 3 6s.
So you lose a die, so you have 2, I have 3. And It is your turn to open the bid.
See, now this is where the game is getting interesting. See, now this is really, for me, where the game is at its sweetest, because I feel like that, when you've got 10 dice between you, you're throwing out numbers left and right, but now I'm looking at my dice and I'm still going to throw out 3 6s.
Am I rolling? Am I still rolling 3?
You're still rolling 3.
She says, you use that word interesting, and the story I'm about to tell is both true of the character that I'm about to portray and also me, Wheels. You use that word interesting. I once played this game with my mother. She's a very interesting character, as I'm sure you can well imagine.
I can't even begin to comprehend.
It was actually a whole family affair. It was a holiday reunion, I don't recall which. Too many of them these days. Anyway. Funny, if you play this with more than just 2 people, there's the added aspect of elimination. A player is completely out of the game. And once without thinking, my mother can sometimes speak before she thinks about the repercussions of her words. I remember being knocked out, leaving just 2 players, and my mother said, "Now things get interesting." It always felt funny knowing that the table was interesting once I left it. 4 6s.
Oh, I think I'm going to have to call you a liar.
I've only got 1.
I've got 2.
Oh, all that storytelling, and it didn't even pay off. Well, 2 to 2. I love how close this is. Let's see what happens.
See, now, I think that you and I can both agree that if this had been a one-sided thing, you'd have knocked me out, you'd have taken away my straight-lacedness. I think we can agree that wouldn't have been satisfying for either of us. Isn't this just much better?
It's hard to say, but this is fun. What is your favorite number?
Oh, I mean, it's easy to say 1.
Between 1 and 6, sorry.
It's easy to say 1, but I mean, you kind of get, that's kind of what it's all about in my game, is number 1.
Always gotta watch out. Flub that line. Always gotta watch out for number 1.
Exactly. It's honestly what I do best.
Knowing that, and she gestures, putting her hands to her temples like she's reading your mind, but then she laughs it off and says, "I'm just kidding." 2 4s.
What was it that you said earlier about not thinking that I was a liar, but feeling like I had to call you one in this moment?
Yeah, I don't even remember. Feels like ages ago. This game is taking too long.
I'm gonna have to call you a liar.
Did I say 2 4s?
You said 2 4s.
Well, I got them.
Damn it. And I think at this point, that suit that is hanging in the corner, it is no longer neatly like cleaned and pressed. There is blue paint spattered all over it. And there is a suitcase that is opened and like that is covered in blue paint, and there's just blue splatter paint all over the clothes and the suitcase. There's little specks of it on my face. And I'm like, well, I got one left.
I think this whole time, every time she has lost a die to reflect yours. Actually, no, I don't think anything happens when she loses dice. But it's only now that you notice that every time that you have lost dice, in addition to your stuff getting less straight-laced, the rain outside gets heavier. There's never any lessening in the amount of sun that's pouring through, but the sound of rain is harder. Do you know who opened the bid last time?
I believe you did. So I will open the bid and say 2 4s.
I love these positions. This is what makes the game very interesting to me. You have put me in a position where I just don't know what to do. And I'm not usually in those positions. I don't like to get in them. Within the parameters of this game, oh, that little mystery is so much fun. Why don't we add a mini wager on the results of this round of the game?
Okay.
Because I love, as I just said, mystery in these contexts. If you win this round, you can learn a mystery about me. 1 question, yes or no. And I the same of you if I were to win. Do you accept?
Understood. Yeah. I love any opportunity to get to know my fellow, well, I guess a colleague. I guess there were a lot of words I could throw out that none of them quite fit, so I guess simply call us friends.
I'm honored. Sorry, what was your bid again? I talked too long.
Two 4s.
Liar.
I have a 4.
Ah, dang, I do too. That's the position I was talking about. Because, dang, it's a bad position to be in. Because I figured you probably did have a 4, and that's why you named 4s. But if I say 3, I know there aren't 3 4s, because I only have a 4 and a 6. So I can't raise the number of 4s I think are in there, because it's impossible for there to be 3 4s. But I also can't raise the number, because even if I raised it to the other die I have, which is 6s, and I say 2 6s, that's just hoping that this whole time you've had a 6. And those little pickles are really, really interesting. This game rules. And I think both down to 1 die.
I think she breaks all of this down, and I'm just like sipping the hotel coffee cup or the water cup. Like, yep.
She's like sketching it on the pad that comes in the motel.
And she's like, listen, you've got to understand what's happening.
It's very interesting. The numbers.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Well, I guess I get to ask you a question.
Oh yes, I almost forgot. Shoot.
Don't try to slip one by a thief. We always know. My question here, say I lose this. It's pretty likely. We've each got 1 die. It's going to be a pretty hard game to guess. So here's my question for you. How do I get payback on you? And remember, you have to answer honestly. Unless you don't want to honor the rules of the wager.
How insulting. Of course I would honor the rules of the wager.
That's what we call a guilt trip. I knew you would, but sometimes you gotta lay it on a little thick, especially coming from my line of work. You understand.
She winks at the camera. She says, you should have called me in September. If you want to get your revenge, you call me in September.
Duly noted.
Last hand. Let's go.
Let's go. Your bid?
I'll admit, she kind of does the thing where she's like leaning back in her chair, and you're like, the chair looks like it's gonna fall down. I don't. But it's also confusing because she's made of mist. So how does she have the weight to push a chair back? I don't actually know that much about the history of this game. And I've always wondered what the dice represent. Because clearly, We know what it represents when we lose all of them. Death, the end, yada yada. But I wonder what are all these little pieces that lead us to that inevitable end. And when we lose them, are we even notified? Interesting to ponder.
Very interesting.
1-3.
Liar.
I got it. I got the 1-3.
Ah.
That's another funny thing about the game is that, like, I think it's like if you end up with a 1v1, so to speak, foxes only, and you both have one die, the person who's opening the bid has a huge advantage, because if you just say the number that you have, you force the other person into saying that there's two of that thing, which is unlikely, or hope that their number is higher than your number. But even then, I would probably call you a liar in that case. Actually, no, I couldn't. I think that's what you do in that case, is you raise the number. So if you had rolled a 4, 5, or a 6, I think that's what you have to do in your position.
Yep. I honestly thought about lying about it, but I was like, as soon as I had to start, the problem was as soon as I started to think about it, I realized it was taking me, it had taken me long enough that it was clear that I was going to lie. Because if I had a 5 or 6, I would have just thrown out 6. And then as soon as I found myself going like, I was like, nope, it's done. And I think Dougie is explaining all of this back. Like, nope, you got it. Yeah, I was, as soon as I got in my head, that's what you're not supposed to do in the game, is you're not supposed to get in your head, and yet you got me in my head.
It's so funny that, timing isn't even part of the rules. Nothing says anything about how long your turn has to take. And yet, I would argue, timing is the key.
You're absolutely right.
Success.
You're absolutely right. You are absolutely right.
Loosen those laces, buddy.
I absolutely will. Sometimes the nicknames that they give you in the papers, they don't feel right anyway, so can't say that I'm not upset, but you gotta
when you look back to... Oh, sorry, go ahead.
I was gonna say, you gotta take the licks that you take.
When you look back at her, the television is off and she's gone, and you just see some mist disperse. And
I think that we see is there is like a newspaper on the front step that like has like I'm trying to think of a good. I got it. There's a newspaper on like the stoop, and I think like when she disappears, like I'm immediately greeted by the sound of a newspaper like hitting the door, and on it says Splatterhouse Dougie Slickback strikes again.
Oh, that's so good. Oh, I love that.
And as much as I want to play one more, let's play one more round. We can
make it, yeah, and the great thing about this game is we can make it shorter if we just reduce the number of dice we start with. So do you want to start at 3?
Yeah, let's start at 3.
Cool.
Because I think I gotta go and we gotta skip to September.
Yep.
I was gonna pull. I have a whole list of other demons, but I gotta come back. I gotta come back to my friend because she told me that I gotta call her in September, which sadly means that we're not going to meet Byron Colesby, or the Tipped Scale, or Crinkles the Mystery Clown, or Spirus the Spiraling into Eternity.
I'm Cyrus, the Mystery Clown. You got to not hear this character voice the whole time.
You know what? That was the right call. I feel like not going that route was the right call. I didn't get the sound of 1,000 Beatles.
Hey, kids!
Yes, let's have a harsh demon-filled game with with Paul Lind. All right, so I think it is the end of September. And I think Splatterhouse is now sitting in a different motel that looks like the same motel, but it's a different motel. This time he is alone at the pool. Like, they haven't quite closed down the pool yet. They haven't, like, it's not, like, cold enough where they're not letting people out by the pool. But, like, it's cold enough that no one is going out by the pool. and he is spread out, like he's in his he's now in like a robe and, very like gym swim trunks, but they're really gym shorts. And he has two in his hands, two margaritas. And he has taken the salt. Like he took the entire container of margarita salt. Like he palmed it while the bartender wasn't looking, created a much sloppier, much more makeshift summoning circle. And he just says, "Summer rain on a solstice night. Get the hell out here."
When you blink, the scene changes. You are no longer sitting by a pool. You are now sitting by an oasis in a desert. There are no cacti. There's no plant. It's just sand. And if you look far enough, you can see some other oases. Mm-hmm. And at each oasis, there's like one palm tree above each oasis. But you have to look very far. It might be a mirage anyway. It might just be your own oasis reflected back at you. And a hand of flame just juts out of the sand right next to you, and she pulls herself out, and this time she is all fire, but just water in the where her heart would be, and there's a little goldfish swimming in her heart. And
that's very good.
And as she erupts out, you can already tell that, like, this time of year she is very different. And she says, Why am I here?
Margarita?
Splatterhouse! And she takes the margarita. And it evaporates when she takes it in her hand, but she seems like satisfied by it. Like, I think it burns. The alcohol burns off, and she just hands you back water and salt.
Cheers.
Clink.
So, you had told me a couple months ago to call you in September. It is September, and I have come...
the worst time of year! I am so busy you don't understand, and yet here I am, and I have to play a little game with a little man. Am I correct?
That is correct.
I brought my own this time, and she brings her copy of dice, of Liar's Dice, which is of course not a copy of Yahtzee, but it's just, what would dice in a demon world be? I think it's, because she has the whole, like, duality in aesthetic, but unity in ideals. It's not that she has two. It's not like she has one die of a different color and the rest. It's not like she has one blue die and the rest are red. It's just that all of her dice are red, but each of them have one side that's blue.
I love that.
Actually, I think it's the ones that are blue.
I love that a lot.
And she hands you a mug. The mug is, I think, it's glass. But it acts more like it's way more malleable. Like you could squish it in your hand. That's what the mugs are made out of. And we're doing 3 dice, right?
3 dice. And I think I take a sip of the margarita and I say, well, before we roll dice, I want your power. You took my name, I want your power. I think that's a fair trade. I think that's a fair thing to put on the table. You can take what you can wager whatever you feel is right. I am coming here because I have realized that being Splatterhouse is fine. But if I could be Splatterhouse the weather wizard or whatever weird combination of names you want to give me, that would be preferable. So I have come here for this.
When in your line there, when you mention that you wanted her power, you can, like, it's not super visible, but you can swear that, like, in the fire that is most of her, there was kind of almost like a sunspot, like a little a little bit that changes color. The flame itself is like a little bit discolored, and it kind of creates like, I talked about her winking to the camera before. It kind of creates like the sparkle that you would have in like a TV show or something when someone winks. And she says, "Oh, that's a big ask."
Yes, well,
Oh,
go big or go home, right?
What do I want from you? I want your charm. I want it to be mine. I already have it in spades, but it would just make me so happy to lose. Rather, I need to say that line again. It would just make me so happy to see you lose yours.
That's fair. That's fair.
That's the wrong chat. I can't roll in my DMs with you.
If you want to roll it right, if you want to roll it in the DM with me, and I'll just look at it and then be kind of a different take on the game.
Oh, let's see, who started? I think I opened the bid last time.
You did. You
so
opened the bid last time. Yeah. 3 4s.
I'm curious, how long has it been?
Oh gosh, let's see. It was June. It was a Tuesday. 10 years and 3 months to the day.
Oh, you did. I thought you were going to say it was the same year, and I thought, oh boy, can he really not stand the Splatterhouse life for so long? But I see you truly have grown into the name.
You know, I had a good run with it. We had some fun. We blew up some briefcases. We splattered some paint. We splattered some blood. But it was messy. You know what I liked about being straight-laced? It was clean and it was efficient. It wasn't messy and chaotic, and the amount of laundry that you have to do is just... It wears you out. It becomes more work than play.
Believe me, I know, and you have no idea what she means by that. You said 3 4s, right?
3 4s.
I'm trying to make it kind of clear that her voice is like a little different. It just kind of like hits that it's a little more screechy than it was before, but like not too much.
Sure.
3 5s.
Oh, I'm gonna have to call you a liar.
Well, you're probably right. I can't copy and paste it, right? But I have a 3 3 and a 1, so I only have 1 5.
I have no 5s.
Okay.
I have 2 4s and a 6.
I'm down to 2 dice.
And I think at this moment, like, there's those kind of like cinder pops, like the crackling cinders are kind of around me as I lean back, and I am wearing, I've started wearing glasses, but I'm wearing the flip up sunglasses, and I flip them down as I kind of lean back a little bit.
I think you can feel the heat from them too. Like, I think it's pretty hot. Cool. I've rolled my 2.
I've rolled my 3. Your bid?
2 2s. You know I like dancing. 2 2s.
I see what you did there. I think you're a liar, but I do see what you did there.
I have a 4 and a 2.
I have no 2s.
All right, I'm down to 1. That sunspot, by the way, it's grown a lot every time that she's lost a die. And now it's gone kind of purplish, so it's like the flames there almost seem like they're congealing. They're like coming into not just, excited gas giving off light. It's like forming into some sort of sludge that's covering a lot of her as she's down to 1 die. The goldfish in her heart seems very confused.
Fair. That's probably valid. We're all confused, I think.
Yeah. I'm sure the cinders get bigger and it gets warmer.
Oh yeah, I think what happens is it is now like there's also rain coming down, and like it is mixing with the cinders and causing just like steam, like a smoky steam.
That's cool.
Next round.
Oh, and you see that in all the other oases too, like off in the distance.
Oh, that's very good. That's
adding
very,
to
very
the
good.
question of, is it happening there, or is it just a reflection? But I don't think that's how mirages work.
What is going on? I'm not going to question it because it's going. Everything's going great. And last time I got in my head, this time I have rolled my 3 dice and I am ready for your bid. Or is it my bid? Do you remember whose bid it is?
It's yours.
Is it mine? All right then. I'm gonna say 2 6s.
Oh, it's no fun being on this side. And there's so much work to be done, and here I am losing at my own favorite game. And the sunspot grows just a bit in size as she gets intense with her speech, and then it kind of contracts a little bit as she exhales. And she says, "Liar, liar, you're a liar."
You are correct. I was lying. I felt like I had to give you that one, honestly.
I just had a 2 on my side.
I had 1 6, but I took a chance and I don't regret it.
The sunspot gets a little smaller, and I think at this point you notice that like a lot of the water has like in the heart of her has started to like there's less of it, and the goldfish is like running around in circles really fast because like some of it has evaporated as she's like kind of losing control of the equilibrium of her own body. Cool. I have rolled.
I have also rolled.
You have 2 dice. I have 1. So 1, 2, and I'm not just counting.
1 2 3. 1 3.
1 5.
1 6.
That's the sound of a liar.
I believe that is the sound of summer rain on a solstice night.
Do you have the 6?
I do have the 6.
What are you lord of? Maybe you should tack that on too, and maybe your title's different. And maybe your title is different.
Oh, I am.
Not your title, but your lord of blank and blank are different.
I am Splatterhouse. Dougie. Hold on, I forgot my character. I am Splatterhouse Dougie Slickback. I am Lord of fabulous paint over rusted metal.
And just in the same way that before, like when the game had ended, you looked up and she was just gone. This time it's you look up and that sunspot has like progressed much, much farther than you had seen before, to the point where you don't even see any water anymore. It's just a little bit of flame fighting against the sunspot. It's still in the same shape of her normal body, but she's just lying in the sand as it's taking over. And the second the last bit of the sunspot encircles and finally closes in and becomes her whole body, she just turns into for a second she just turns into like it's like when lava cools into rock, you know, where it's that like it's like very, very, very new rock, I guess igneous rock. And then the rock cracks and just a normal human hand reaches out from the rock.
And I think I reach into my appearance has changed, and now I'm wearing like, rather than like my beach robe, I am in like a fine, like fabulous tuxedo with like the golden stripe on the side, and like, you know, a beautiful sheen polished cummerbund and diamond encrusted cufflinks, and I am just a rotting zombie, like on underneath, like my face and my hair is falling out in clumps, and I am just a horrible zombie in a beautiful tuxedo. And I reach into my vest or into my jacket, and I pull out a pen and a pad of paper, and I write a note in it, and I like lean forward a little bit, and I put the note into your hand, into
Yeah, and
Summer Rain's
and
hand.
it's just the hand that's like burst out of the rock,
Yeah.
but like nothing else. Yeah.
I put the note in the hand, and like I disappear, and in the note it just says like the charm of a thief, with a little like handwritten note that says I don't need it anymore.
Oh, that's cool.
And I think I become the demon that you summon when you need to get out of a bad contract, and I offer you like a way out of it, but in a way that is going to, like, you are going to have to pay something horrible up front to get you out of like a horrible long-term deal. That is my domain. That
That's
is
cool.
the domain of fine paint over rusted metal.
I love that. That's cool. So what should her human name be? Well, it's got to be Sunny, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Sunny, I think we see her like in a coffee shop or something, and she smiles, and we kind of see superimposed the same smile that she smirked when you said that you wanted her power, with the implication being that she was glad, she was excited to lose it.
That's very good. That's very good.
And like, I think you just see her very excited that she can live a normal life all year round.
I love it.
She doesn't have to be she doesn't have to be some, walking dichotomy anymore. She can just be a person.
Good. And I think that's game.
That was very fun.
That was super fun. Oh my goodness, that was a blast and a half.
Martin's game is really good.
It's a good game. Well, thank you so much for coming on the show and playing it with me. This was an absolute delight.
Yeah, thanks for having me. That was a lot of fun.
So, real quick, before we wrap up, where can people find you and your work online?
You can find me on Twitter at Singular Wheels. And you can find everything that I do there, but if you don't use Twitter or you don't have access to it for whatever reason, you can find my podcasts at Got It Memorized and Very Random Encounters.
Excellent. Well, thank you so much for coming on the show. This was an absolute delight. And for now, I'm going to throw it over to me in the future so that he can wrap up with the show. Take it, future me.
Thanks, Past Me, and thanks again to Wheels for coming on to the show. That game was... that game ruled. That game was a delight. That game was really, really fun. I had such a good time with it. It was good. It was good. Be sure to check the show notes for more information about Very Random Encounters, Got It Memorized, and everything else Wheels is working on, and be sure to follow Wheels on Twitter at Singular Wheels. Oh, and also a link to Scorelock. Go buy the game because it is wonderful. Marn is a dear friend of the show. This game was a delight. It ruled. Go buy the game and treat yourself this Halloween. Give yourself a treat. Then head back to Twitter and follow us at Party of One Pod. Like the show on Facebook at facebook.com/partyofonepodcast. Join our Discord at bit.ly/partyofonediscord. Head to our merch store at bit.ly/partyofonemerch. If you enjoyed the show, consider backing us on Patreon at patreon.com/JeffStormer. You can also make a one-time donation at kofi.com/JeffStormer. You can also support the other podcast that I produce, All My Fantasy Children, which is a tabletop-inspired character creation, storytelling, and world-building podcast on the One Shot Podcast Network, in which every week, my best friend Aaron Catano Saez and I take a listener-submitted prompt, we spin it into an original fantasy character, and we populate a shared universe one story at a time. New episodes drop every Friday-ish at oneshotpodcast.com. Party of One is produced and edited, as always, by Jeff Stormer and Jen Frank. All music for the show comes from the song Infinite Lives by Megaran, featuring the D&D Sluggers, and the Party of One logo is by Evan Rowland. If you'd like to inquire about advertising rates, coming onto the show as a guest, or about press coverage of the show, you can email me at partyofonepodcast@gmail.com. And that is it for me. Until next time, thank you so much for listening. Remember to fight the force of fascism every single day. Remember that self-love and self-care are radical and defiant acts of resistance, and as always, party on, everybody.